Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squad for boxing news and views from around the internet. It looks like Adam Kownacki's next opponent is going to be Chris Arreola on August 3rd at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn in a card that will be on Fox. First reported by Mike Coppinger, subsequently multiple news outlets have reported this news. Also, Mike Coppinger says he has spoken to Chris Arreola recently, who said he was going to be facing Adam Kownacki. So this looks like it is going to happen, and I just thought I'd wade in here with a few thoughts on this prospective fight, which seemingly is going to be announced. Now, where to start with this one? Because I think when I saw this tweet by Mike Coppinger that it was going to be Arreola as Adam Kownacki's next opponent, my heart sank a little bit because I was hoping and expecting it to be a better opponent. And from the news that is out there, it looked like Robert Helenius was originally going to be lined up as the opponent. And Robert Helenius' name has been bandied around for a number of fighters in 2019. Originally, he was meant to be the guy that was going to face Kubrat Pulev in March. Instead, it ended up being Bogdan Dinu. So who knows what is happening with Helenius, but Arreola is a very disappointing opponent if this is in fact confirmed for August the 3rd. And simply said, Arreola is completely shot to bits. Kownacki will be taking on the ghost of Chris Arreola. Arreola was a factor in the division in his prime, almost 10 years ago. 10 years ago, that's when he had his title shot against Vitaly Klitschko. He later got a shot against Berman Stavern, lost that one. He was pretty much gifted that. Also a late replacement and gifted a shot against Deontay Wilder. Arreola, at that point in his career when he faced Deontay Wilder, was well on the decline. And then he had a couple of years out of the sport, but had decided to make a comeback. Coming back on Deontay Wilder's undercard in December 1st, 2018 on that Fury Wilder card, that wasn't televised. His most recent fight, the second of his comeback, was against Jean-Pierre Augustin. And I think that flattered to deceive because Arreola looked decent in there against limited opposition, stopping him, in the third round. But Arreola, for me, is completely shot to bits. Even though the commentators in that Jean-Pierre Augustin fight said Chris Arreola is back, he's in contention for a potential heavyweight title shot at some point. That was laughable at the time then, and seeing him in with a guy like Adam Kownacki, who's clearly on the rise now, he's a potential prospective opponent for Deontay Wilder in the next fight or two. It is disappointing news. Well, actually, he's not going to be the next opponent. So that, for me, now that Kownacki is pretty much locked up for August, which will be somewhere around when Deontay Wilder fights again towards that back end of the year. Pretty much the Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder rematch, you can probably take that to the bank. But Kownacki, given he is so close to a title shot, it is disappointing that it's this level of opponent. I think they could have done better because Arreola is not very good anymore. It'll probably be an entertaining fight to some extent because Arreola comes forward swinging for the fences, but Adam Kownacki has got well enough in the tank to deal with Chris Arreola, and it might be a fun fight for as long as it lasts, but I do fully expect Adam Kownacki to come through this. And I guess you can say, well, Arreola is a safe choice for Kownacki and to keep him in the conveyor belt for Deontay Wilder, potentially after a Luis Ortiz rematch, should Deontay Wilder come through that. Because it looks like it possibly is going to be Luis Ortiz next for Wilder, and then after that, it could be Adam Kownacki. So throwing him in with a guy like Arreola is a bit of a safe bet, but also at the same time, on that card, and when they have that fight, it's going to probably be an entertaining fight, which ends with another knockout. But I'm disappointed that it's a step down from where he's been, because he was starting to sort of build up, a bit of momentum with the opponents that he was facing. He got Gerald Washington out of there in the second round of their fight in a pretty destructive performance. But I guess the other thing you can also say about this fight is Arreola represents another former Deontay Wilder opponent. And if Adam Kownacki can go in there, do a number on Arreola, he can add another Wilder opponent to his resume and build that sort of, well, I've beaten your guys faster than you. And he already has a couple of opponents like that on his record. He took out Artur Spilka and also Gerald Washington in much quicker time and arguably in better fashion than Deontay Wilder did. So there is this whole sort of narrative that they seemingly are looking to build with Adam Kownacki and what he's doing to former Deontay Wilder opponents. But I think you can argue in this situation that Chris Arreola, he's completely shot. He was already on the slide when he fought Deontay Wilder, and he hasn't got any better. So in some respects, I can see what they're doing and why, but it doesn't mean that I'm not disappointed with this opponent choice, because Arreola is not going to beat Adam Kownacki. And if he does, well, that means Adam Kownacki is completely out of the title hunt mix, because Arreola well on the slide here. But what do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.